Outstanding, the ultimate accolade for teachers. We challenge primary teacher Chloe Mercado to go from good to outstanding. A top inspector will observe one lesson. 2 experts will fine-tune her practice and beef up her presentation. She then gets 2 weeks to take on the advice before the inspector comes back for the final verdict.
It's just quite stressful, but I'm trying not to sort of dwell on it too much because I think I could go a bit crazy if I thought about it.
You go, don't worry if it comes croaky out. And Brilliant. Do it once more. And and can you do meow?
Meow.
Can you feel your voice is pretty croaky up there? Yeah. So what I like us now is to coordinate what you say it slowly, yeah, with up and down with your voice, yeah, not pens down, pens down.
Pencils down.
Yeah. Yeah, there comes the croaky bit, once more. Pencils down.
Pencils down.
Yeah, here we go, fantastic. Because what you do also with a higher sound, you will stimulate their brain.
Okay.
Yeah? So now, really try, everybody, make it really big.
Okay. Everybody, pencils down.
Breathe.
Turn around
Breathe.
And face me.
Okay, fantastic. Just breathe in between. Yeah.
Okay.
Chunk, gap, chunk. These are 3 instructions. Once more, a bit more gap.
Everybody, pencils down. Turn around. And face me.
Yeah, good. Much better. Great.
The thing that surprised me about what Ulrika said is that actually you don't have to have this tired voice at the end of the week or at the end of the day, which is great news because she's actually shown me how to use it properly.
So, with Chloe's final observation just weeks away, it's back to the classroom to put all that advice into action and raise her game.
You will see that our new science topic this term is called forces and movement. I'm using forces. What's happening, Bailey? In terms of what I'm working on, the structure of the lesson I was really thinking about. At the end of the day, I basically wanted them to know that pushes and pulls are forces. I'm going to try again. And that there are different actions you can use to create a push or a pull force. You're both standing up. Marco, you're pulling. I can plan the structure of the lesson. So when it comes to my gestures and my voice, it's something I need to think about at the time. Every chair should be turned around and it should be facing me. I think it's certainly still work in progress, so I'm just still working on everything, really.
Chloe and Deputy Head Verity Coates reflect on last week's observation.
You're taking all the feedback now, but you're not writing any other sort of suggestions. You've got questions, but not keywords.
No, I should have been writing a lot of that down and all of the vocabulary, so we could have come back to it and looked at it,
And I think that's another way, actually, where you move them on from what they already know, because then they can use a word that they might not have known what it meant. They might have known what it was. And particularly if you're more able, I think, that they actually start to use some of the technical vocabulary. They're understanding it a little bit better. Rather than just reporting it.
I watched the first observation lesson. It's so weird. It is like watching somebody else. That's what's so strange about it.
Do you watch it and think, right, things that you don't think you do? Or
I was literally... And literally at one point I was like this. Things that Ulrika did with me, I am much more aware of it all the time. I suddenly think I'm doing it now. I'm doing it all the time. What was that? A push force?
With 1 week to go before her final observation, Chloe is upping the science content while keeping in mind the ability range in her class.
Which one do you have to use more force for? Pushing up or pushing down? So, your learning intention today is to describe the forces used when objects are moved. I had a lot of vocabulary up today. I tried to use it and introduce the words whilst I was teaching. I was expecting some of them to be writing sentences where they're talking about a powerful or gentle force, which direction it's gone in and why. Where some of them would be drawing a picture of themselves. The work they were producing is where the differentiation came into it, I think. Naveen, Aditya. Right. I want my truck to move. But I don't want any of us to actually push it or pull it ourselves. Ellie.
You could blow it.
Could we blow it? I'll tell you what, we can't blow it ourselves.
On a hill, and then it'll sort of like go down.
He's cracked it. Go. Oh, hi, John, it's Chloe. How are you?
With Judgment Day looming, Chloe gets some last-minute advice from John Stringer.
Did you use a ramp as well?
I did. At the end, we all sat round again, and I got a ramp and a truck, and I asked how we could make it go down.
What's happening next?
Well, then next is investigating how to make it go further. So right. changing the angles.
Right, because once you use the ramp, could lead you into your very first graph. But for this age of children, for your youngsters, they're best, I think, to look at a bar chart. Some of them could literally make the table up with a
draw the actual table.
Yeah, some of them might need the table prepared for them with maybe the headings on.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, thanks, John. Bye. Dancers, you need bare feet. Okay? Right. I'm quite tired today. There's an awful lot going on, generally. And obviously we've had the school show now. Quite stressful putting it all on. Making sure it's all okay. I don't want more than 4. I'm not going to be able to fit that in. I'm just checking that everything I think is going to happen does actually happen. It's got the potential to be a really good lesson, and and I've hopefully brought everything that I've learned and talked to people about into it, and hopefully it will come together.
The day of Chloe's final observation has arrived, and Claire Gillies is back. With all the expert advice and hard practice behind her, will Chloe move from good to outstanding?
Forces of movement. Now, here's the car, here's the ramp. I was wondering, how could we change the distance that the car travels? Have a little think about it quickly.
It's like bumpy on those
Just turn around, face me. Who would like to give me something that they thought of that could make the car go in a different distance, go further or shorter? Imogen.
You could put it higher.
What could you put higher?
The ramp.
Oh, excellent. What do you think is going to happen? Who would like to tell me their prediction? Lucy.
When you do the highest one, then the car will go down faster than the other heights, and it will go further.
Right. Do you want to let it go, Bailey? Whoa. Wow. It is about 25 centimetres. So, middle ramp. Ooh.
It was like we were doing an experiment, and experiments are very fun.
Right, final one. Are we ready?
Yes.
Everyone ready?
Yes.
Right. Release the car. Ooh.
77.
It's about 75 centimetres. Hands up. Who made a correct prediction? Oh, wow.
It was my favourite part because I guessed and I got it right.
So, this block graph shows the effect of the height of a ramp on the distance a car travels. So what we need to do to make it a little bit easier with our results, we're just going to round them up to the nearest 10 centimetres. So I'm going to colour up to there to show that on the low ramp, the car travelled 30 centimetres. Get a colour, colour it in. What happened when the ramp was low? How could you explain it? What could you say?
It went lower.
Did it go lower? It was the distance, wasn't it? Was it a long distance or a short distance?
Short distance.
Right.
Spaceship, there's no gravity.
So I better be very careful if I ever find myself in a spaceship.
And the shorter distance on the low ramp and the further distance on the high ramp. Do you know why that happened?
Pull force.
It's a pull force. Excellent. And what happened to that pull force when the ramp went higher? Got
bigger.
It's a greater force, isn't it, that was pulling it more. Excellent. Who thinks they can tell us what happened? Alex.
When we put the ramp the highest height, the car went furthest with a harder pull force with gravity too.
Excellent, Alex. So that pull force that's working when the car comes down is gravity.
I thought it was fun, and I learnt that if you didn't have gravity, we would just go flying off to space.
Thank you very much for letting me join. I enjoyed that a lot. They were all excited, and there was such a lovely sense of sort of fun, you know. It was a very, you were making science really enjoyable for them, as well as getting them to think. And I think we can sort of look for little sparkles of sort of more outstanding practice. Yeah. I think in that lesson, I really felt that certainly you've made sort of several strides forward in the scientific content of the lesson. But why I feel that it wasn't quite there yet was because we have got some very bright, scientifically interested pupils in your class, and for them I think it was too easy. And I was also interested in why we rounded up.
It was really because so that some of the children, it would be a sort of exact measurement for them on the block graph.
And you see, some of your differentiation is great. You know, the way you'd prepared the sheets was slightly different. I think now the real skill is to extend your differentiation. So we could have actually talked about, perhaps those of you who feel really confident to find the right number could just use that column. If you find it hard to plot the exact number, then go for the rounded up and see what happens. But at the end of the lesson, we have to celebrate that practically all of them had written a sentence that really showed understanding. And I think all your natural generic teaching skills, which you really have got a cartload, it's wonderful, with more and more science content and confidence, and then you are going to be delivering some really wonderful science lessons, and I feel you've certainly taken a real step towards that.
I didn't necessarily think that I was, in a few weeks, going to go from being a good teacher in science, you know, to being an outstanding teacher. But I've certainly learnt things which could make, you know, to help me to get there. And some of those came through, and some of them, you know, are still there to be worked on.